In this video, I will show you how to sort the rectangular array. I will use the same project that I used to sort the jagged array, right, in the previous video. So this is the same C# project. So I create a rectangular array with 5 rows, right, and 2 columns. I just print 0th rows, 0th column and first column, which will actually print 1 and 3 respectively, right? One thing to remember with rectangular arrays is that sorting is not as straightforward as it was in jagged arrays. With a jagged array, it was possible to reference the first dimension as an array by itself. So what I mean is that when we wrote our custom comparer there, array.sort method can actually swap the array references. So with swap references, what I mean is that remember how we wrote our comparer and that returned a value. So sort methods use that value and swap the array references to sort the jagged array. But in case of rectangular array, it can't be done. There is no way to swap rows in rectangular array. Uh, the point is that you have to remember that rectangular array, the entire array is a single object rather than an array of one-dimensional arrays as it was in case of jagged array. But in rectangular array, the whole array is a single object, so you can't swap the rows. So now the question is how you can actually sort it. You can still sort it, but you need to have a another array, kind of a tracking array, and you can use that tracking array to piggyback kind of thing and get into the array that needs to be sorted. So the second array, I mean the tracking array that I was talking about, it's a one-dimensional array, and that will contain the row numbers of the rectangular arrays. And the custom comparer we write, that method will use the past row numbers to index into the rectangular array and sort the items. So a key concept to remember here is that the comparer implementation, whatever we write, will hold a reference to the two-dimensional array. That is the array that needs to be sorted, right? And remember that the items of that array are never changed or swapped. It is that tracking array that gets sorted, and we use that tracking array, like I said, to get into the two-dimensional array and read the sorted values. So I think I did a lot of talking now. Don't be worried if you are a little bit confused, because sorting rectangular array, like I said, is a bit trickier. But hang on, let's watch the video demo, and I think things will be much more clearer once you actually see things in action. So let's see the demo now. So I will create tracking array now of length 5. So each element here points to the rows. For instance, you can get into the first element of two-dimensional array using the 0th row and subsequently first, second, third, fourth. So tracking array is of length 5. Then I call array.sort and pass in the tracking array and write a new comparer, custom comparer. And the custom comparer will implement the iComparer interface and will take ints. Remember that our tracking array is an int single dimensional array. So our compare method will take ints, basically this. And this comparer class will hold a reference to the array that's need to be sorted. So the array that needs to be sorted is passed into this comparer when we create that object. So tracking arrays elements, or the ints are passed in here to the compare method. So x and y basically refers to the row numbers. So here x and y are the row numbers, and then I want to sort it by 0th column, so I use 0. So x comma 0 and here y comma 0. So that way you are getting into the two-dimensional array using the tracking array. Here I need to pass the reference to the array that needs to be sorted, right? So at the end of line 41, tracking array elements will get rearranged in a way that the row numbers will now point in ascending order of the two-dimensional array's 0th column. So to mean what I say here is that tracking array will look something like this: 0, then followed by 2, because 0th is the least first number 1 column in this array, 1, right? and then the next one is number 7, so basically it will be 2, then 10, so basically that will be 4. After 10 we have 15, which is nothing but number 1, right? And then last is 22, so basically that is number 3. I will just run and show you that here. So in here now, if you see the tracking array elements, it's exactly like I said, 0, 2, 4, 1, 3. So that is how you kind of sort two-dimensional arrays. So we rearrange the elements of tracking array and then got access to the sorted two-dimensional array. Now we will use the tracking array and print the two-dimensional array in sorted order. So first in the first for each I iterate through the tracking array. So we are basically getting the row numbers, which would be the the rearrange order, and then we get the length 1 because we need to know how many columns are there. So we'll basically get length of 2 because we have 2 columns, like every row, every element has 2 columns in this two-dimensional array. So I print two-dimensional array with row number and the column. So we will print each row with the column. So if you can ignore this one because this is coming from line 38 and 39 console.write ends there. But after this, all subsequent ones, whatever you see, come from our print MD array. Based on the sorted one, because we are sorting on 0th column. So the print MD array prints sorted two-dimensional array 0 here. So if you look at it, the first one is 1, 3, and then 7, 10, then 10, 14, then 15, 2, and 22, 9 as expected. So this is how you sort a two-dimensional rectangular array. And if you want to make it a bit more dynamic, you can pass in the column number you wanted to sort it upon, like we did in custom arrays, like we did in jagged arrays earlier. So you can do it here the same way. You can just pass in the column number and sort it. So that's how you sort a rectangular or a multidimensional array. I hope now that this would be much more clearer for you guys. If you have any queries, do leave in the comment section below.